Chapter 1. The Seer's Vision. In a coastal village of Norway, a woman known as Astrid the Völva sat in trance, her staff carved with runes, her eyes rolled white as she whispered of the threads of fate. A storm comes from the east. Sons of Odin will strike fear in Christian lands. Yet beyond the seas lies a greater world, green and wild Vinland, the hidden land where destiny awaits. The men listened, half in awe, half in fear. For in this time, seiðr magic was forbidden for men, but not for women. And Astrid's words carried the weight of truth. Chapter 2. The Warrior and the Shield Maiden. Among those who heard was Eric, a farmer's son turned warrior. Unlike the stories told by priests abroad, he was not a mindless brute. He farmed in the summer, carved wood in winter, and carried his axe only when honor demanded. Beside him stood Freydis, a shield maiden whose mother left her land and dowry and divorce proof of the rights Viking women possessed. Her armor bore scars of old battles, and though some men whispered that women did not belong in war, Freydis silenced them with steel. Together, they prepared for the voyage that would carry them not just to England, but across the world. Chapter 3. The Longship. The longship slid into the sea, its shallow hull dancing on waves. Carved dragons at the prow frightened spirits and enemies alike. With such ships, the Vikings could raid deep inland rivers, or ride across the open sea to unknown horizons. The Christians called them devils. But in truth, the longships carried craftsmen, merchants, families, and dreamers as often as raiders. In Dublin, they built a city. In Iceland, they raised farms. In Russia, they founded trade routes that reached Byzantium and Arabia. Chapter 4. What the monks would not write. When the Vikings struck Lindisfarne, they took gold and silver, yes, but they also took knowledge. They carried home books, strange medicines, and stories of faraway lands. This, the monks would not write. For to admit that their enemies were more than beasts was to admit they might also be equals or worse, teachers. Chapter 5. The Hidden Colony. Decades later, Leif Erikson would follow Astrid's prophecy. With men and women of mixed hair and skin proof of the Viking bloodlines woven with many peoples, he crossed the cold seas to the green shores of Vinland. There, they built houses of wood and turf, hunted strange beasts, and met peoples unlike any in Europe. Some say the colony was lost. Others whisper it was hidden, protected by the magic of the Volvas, a settlement wiped from history but still remembered in the sagas of the North. Epilogue. The Viking Age would end in 1066 at Stamford Bridge, when the last great king, Harald Hardrada, fell in battle. But by then, the Norse had already reshaped the world. They were not just raiders. They were explorers, settlers, warriors, magicians, and poets. Their women held power. Their ships defied the oceans. Their dreams reached continents no one else dared sail. And the truest stories, the ones the monks feared to write, still linger like whispers on the wind. The Vikings were more than the world was ready to admit.